All right, welcome. So this video is going to talk about a slightly lesser known topic within self-improvement called unlearning. So this video is the power of unlearning, shifting your mindset. And the reason I say unlearning is a very important skill and one that not a lot of people talk about is because when we want to become somebody new, when we want to pursue a goal of ours and radically change our lives in the process, we do have to learn a lot of new things in that journey, right? Don't get me wrong. Learning is a very important aspect, but the power of being able to unlearn or break or sever old connections, old ties, old sequences in our brains and in our habit system, in our identity. This is a very important skill for completely removing the old self, therefore making more room for the new self. So to get started, we're going to talk about being stuck in your current mindset and why it's killing you. So the reason I say this and the reason I'm so radical about it, right? Being stuck in your current mindset is killing you. And it isn't killing you necessarily, but it is absolutely killing your progress. So when we are not progressing, when we are not growing, when we are not achieving a new level of evolution, or even on a simple term, if we're not constantly making small adjustments and small improvements every single day, what we're actually doing is not staying the same. We are regressing. We are slowly reverting, and regression is nature's way of decaying, essentially, organisms. So when we stop using our gift of life to its fullest, life takes it back. And that's basically the simplest way to say this and the simplest way to explain this. But when we're not growing, we actually do start dying. So to allow yourself to stay stuck in your current mindset and to allow yourself to stay where you are now means that you are not actually just staying where you're at. You are slowly getting further away from where you want to go. As well as the fact that if you have a goal, if you have something you're working towards, the thing is your current mindset is actually the thing holding you to where you're at right now. So your current mindset is what's killing your progress, right? So how do we deprogram misaligned mindsets and habits? Well, the simple way is to begin to observe them first, right? Once we can observe these misaligned habits and these misaligned mindsets, what we can do is we can start to strip them of their power. And what kind of power do these things have? These things have the power to convince us of their reality. Meaning, when we have a certain mindset, when our mind wants to tell us that we can't achieve something because it's too difficult, when our mind tells us that we aren't the type of person to be able to do something, this is a limiting belief. This is a limited mindset. What we can do is we can strip it of its grounding in reality. So when the brain says we can't be successful at something, the way we counter that is by programming and teaching our brain that we can through small wins. And so the simple answer to how to deprogram misaligned beliefs is to strip them of the fact that they are reality, because that's the only way they have power over you. Once you prove that they are not reality, they dissolve, and they have to dissolve because there's no power that they have over you anymore because you no longer believe in their reality. So fully breaking old patterns and shifting your mindset. How do we actually fully break these old patterns and shift our mindset onto something new? And the simple answer is we have to solidify a new condition. We have to solidify a new way of living. And so what we do is we slowly make the changes and the adjustments, right? And we start to, like I said before, strip that old mindset of its grounding in reality. And the way we fully break through that pattern is by enforcing the new set of beliefs, the new system, the new habits, right? And every time we feel ourselves slip, every time we feel ourselves start to revert, we just we become aware, and then we correct our state to align back with what we're trying to achieve and where we're trying to go. And then finally, solidifying the new identity. How do we actually solidify that new identity now that we have created it? And now the simple answer to that is really just repetition. We need to spend time repeatedly taking the right actions. By putting in the repetitions over time, what we do is we actually solidify this new identity. We bring it into our current state, And by bringing it into our current state and then solidifying it into our current state, that is what allows us to see the progress that we want to make. By practicing consistency and focusing on repetitions, we can solidify this new identity, because what is required for our brain is a repetition. Once we get enough repetition of something, we've done it enough times, our brain actually becomes solidified into that new identity. And so every time, let's say you had a habit of smoking, every time you smoked was one tick towards that identity. So now the way to counter that, the way to deprogram that, is to, every time you want to smoke, practice the repetition of not doing so and remind yourself the new identity you're trying to create. And this is a slow and gradual process, but the point is that every time you do feel yourself slip, you pull yourself right back. But that is all I have for this video. I know it was actually a really short one, but this is a very quick topic, but it is really important to understand how to deprogram the current mindsets, the current identity in our brain, and then actually create a new one and solidify that new one so that we don't revert and go back. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and comment down below anything you may have learned. If you want to see more content like this, you can press subscribe. You could also go check out the Instagram and my TikTok. But other than that, I'm out of here. Peace.